Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Razor, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be showing my July bullet journal setup and the process of setting it up. As usual, I have chosen another font to follow as my sort of theme for the month, as otherwise my monthly setups are created to be super minimalist without having any theme in the background. By keeping things simple, these setups and spreads can easily be modified to suit anyone, and you can add whatever theme you might want to it whenever you want. The font I chose to follow and modify the look of the spreads to adhere to is actually very similar to my current June 2020 setup. In my current setup, I had used a rounded open edge thick double-lined font, whereas for this setup I did some slight modifications to create a straight closed-edged thin double-lined font, which is basically what you can call like the opposite style from this month, from rounded to straight edged, open to closed sides, and then thick to thin space between the double line of each letter. And by just making those simple changes, as we go through setting up this setup for July, you can easily feel the different tone that is given by this new style created based off of this new font. Now with my spreads and setups, I know that I have been following a pretty straightforward setup for each month and the same kind of spreads for the past months. But the main idea I've been trying to show is that it doesn't really take much to change up the style and still have an interesting bullet journal at the same time. I love the minimalist and simplicity of the spreads, and by changing the font and little bits of adjustments to the styles to the spreads, kind of exercises my creativity within the minimalist atmosphere and seeing how much can be done with just simple aspects. But as I am nearing the end of this bullet journal, after lasting me an entire year, I will be moving on to a new bullet journal in the coming September, and I have already begun to set up that, and I will be changing quite a lot of things around. I will still be keeping things pretty minimalist, but experimenting with more new styles and arrangements and types of spreads, so make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out when I get working on that next journal and posting up what I've been doing with it. And so now let's just get diving right into taking a look here at the first page of this month's setup. As usual, I start out with the simple cover page with the name of the month and then a calendar of it. Nothing too special nor out of the ordinary here. Now quickly heading over to the calendar spread. So what I did here is a very simple setup with essentially just a line to separate each week of the month, but to add in that font style to it, I made it a very skinny double line running across the page. I did run the last line at the bottom a little longer than I wanted by one small section, but I just left it since it looks fine and also intentional if you don't really think about it. Then of course I have a small note section for myself to jot down some small notes of things that might be happening during the month, but as there is plenty of space at the bottom, I tend to use it for drawing some doodles when I want, but the space can also be easily filled with some sections to keep track of other monthly things or notes you might have on. And so going into the monthly tracker pages, first I have my grocery weekly sales list, in which I list out the main grocery items that are on sale each week at my main local grocery stores I tend to buy stuff from. Then after each week, I will draw a line to separate each week's sales. So this is basically works as a running log of sales that I keep adding onto throughout the month. And for the title section, I did this kind of 2-section thing with the big title and then that smaller line in between to make space for a subheader, and then another longer line completing the title section. And I will be following that format throughout my monthly tracker pages. Next is my sleep tracker page. Very simple chart again, but I use that thin double-lined feature from the font to create that T chart to track the sleep hours. The hours are listed across the page at the top of the chart, and then the days going, and the days of the month going downwards. It is to the markers I will be using to mark the hours I sleep. I will most likely be doing another one of just those skinny double lines drawn across the hours slept for each day. So moving on to my mood tracker page, I kind of went with this framing or like window square for each day of the month. The frame holds to the thin double-lined font, and with the bar in the middle splits each square for putting in one out of the 3 marks I generally use for keeping track of my moods. I simply use my 3 mood selection composed of negative for a bad mood, a squiggly line for meh or an okay mood, then a positive plus sign for a good mood. I like to keep it at 3 so it's not like I have to decide which out of 3 or 4 different levels of bad moods or happy moods to choose from, which would just frustrate me just by thinking of which one to choose. All I need is a 3 in total to get straight on to the point. Now, of course, here we have the habit tracker page. I have been switching up a lot of the habits I've been tracking lately, and so I'm just gonna write the first 3 names of the ones I know I will be keeping track of, and I will be adding more of on my own time as the month starts and filling it in. Many will most likely be the same ones from the previous months, but I'm gonna probably rearrange them around to get them in the right order of importance to me, or something like that. Anyway, to mark whether or not I've done whatever it is or not, I will mark around the day with a square box. Last month, with the rounded version of this font, I used circles, and so with this straight edge style of this font, using small squares seems to be the best way to go. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to be using to keep track of my habits. And if you kind of might notice, I use that skinny double line like the title section of the page with 2 sections throughout the page for the name of the habit and then for the section of the calendar. And last but not least, here on these last 2 pages, for the monthly spread pages, are my go-to songs page and my brain dump page for the month. For the songs page, I use that framing style like I did for the squares on the mood tracker page, and then just made them into those rectangles to write the songs into. And as usual, there is the 2 line spaces left in each rectangle to write the name of the song and then also the artist. I ended up deciding not to fill in the whole page yet with those rectangles, since I might not use them all, as I mainly only list like new songs to me that I've discovered and or songs that are really on my mind during the month. Sometimes there are more and sometimes there are less, so I can always add in more sections when I need to later on. And then for my brain dump page on the right, it's as basic as it can be. There is a title section, then using squares as bullet points to list down random thoughts and ideas that might come to me in July. Now that is everything for my monthly spread pages. And now let's head on to the weeklies. Once again, everything is very basic and I follow the same format as my previous month's weekly spreads. For this style, adhering to the font for this month, I simply use those skinny double lines, or bars in this case, to create the 9 sections needed for the 7 days of the week in the middle, the week range at the top, and the small note section at the bottom. Since I don't need too much space per day, as I just label the main things I need to do without all the extra details, these 1-page spreads work perfectly for me. And for the first week, since the month of July starts midweek, I started the page on the Wednesday it starts on, and then I leave the extra space open at the bottom for notes, which will most likely end up to be more doodle space Anyway, yep, so that is everything for my July 2020 Minimalist Bullet Journal Setup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and other Minimalist Bullet Journal content. I also do other videos ranging from art, doodles, lettering, and basically anything artsy and crafty. And then I also do some unboxing, stationery hauls, and review videos. Then I also do lots of giveaways of stationery supplies on my channel to give back to my subscribers and those who support me with my channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out when I post up my giveaways. There is one just ending tonight, which is my 800 subscribers giveaway, but I will have another giveaway up very shortly to celebrate having hit 900 subscribers. And hopefully I'll hit 1,000 subscribers soon, and I do have a big giveaway planned for that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button with that notification bell on so you don't miss out on it. Last but not least, I am also going to be donating a ton of school supplies to help students from lower income families. For more information on my project, can be found in the GoFundMe links down below in the description. I really appreciate it if you go and check that out. I am just about to start a series of videos showing me purchasing a ton of school supplies on sale and showing the best deals going on each week during these back to school sales. And I will be doing this every week throughout the summer. And at the end of the summer, I will be donating everything I bought to the local school community around me to distribute to students in need. If you'd like to help me out, just simply check out that GoFundMe page and share it with all your family members and friends. And if you can donate, even just a single dollar will help. Also, by simply subscribing to my channel and checking out my videos will also help. So anyway, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.